That's really on me. Um, well, that's really on me. But anyway, let's get it going.
Bulldozing and you're steamrolling because you don't want to hear what I have to
Oh,
say.
okay. Hold on,
Listen,
hold on.
no, no,
We'll
listen.
these fact checks. During the Gilded Age, the Republican Party increasingly emphasized industrial growth and business-friendly policies, but the destruction of black voting rights in the South was carried out principally by white Democrats, democratic governments, and allied white supremacist groups through violence, intimidation, fraud, and disenfranchising laws, aided by the federal retreat and restrictive Supreme Court rulings. Yeah. They traded black people's freedom for something like our voting for something like because we were protected federally and all that stuff. There was a trade. There was a trade off that occurred. There was a trade off that occurred. I forget what exactly was traded, but it was like the president was like, "Fuck, yeah, I'll let y'all do what y'all want to do." You know what I'm saying? If y'all let me get this, and it was something that you know what I'm saying his administration wanted, and they counter the Democrats gave him was let us do what we want in the South, like get the federal troops out. So historical estimates also indicate that black home ownership rose overall from about 8% in to in 1870 to 24% in 1990, despite severe discrimination. Yeah, but it was intense like redlining that put all the black people together, and that's how you were able to get like that. And this was what I was talking about the other night. You were able to get things like Tulsa, Oklahoma, and what is it, Rosewood or Rosemond or something like that. I believe it's Rosewood, where they burned down and they were chasing after black people and all that stuff. Like there's numerous other events like that happen like that, and all that is possible through redlining. Because if you're able to group all those people together, then yeah, you can go after them and you can get them up out of here. You know what I'm saying? You could like basically they were packing all their ops into like one area. So then if they wanted to ride on people, they could just spray the whole block and it wouldn't fucking matter. Shoot, you kill somebody, and that's basically what they were doing. And if you know what I'm saying, they wanted to poison the water, they could just again, it's all one area. If they wanted to spray pesticides or whatever and kind of like slowly poison people or whatever, they could do that, and it's just hidden one area. Like everything they were doing was to hit to make sure like if they wanted to discriminate they could do it to one area. Then they wanted to make um crossing over into the cities and the white areas harder. So what they did was they built freeways in the middle, you know what I'm saying, like over them or through them, so then you couldn't just drive straight over. You know what I'm saying? You had to like go this roundabout way to get into the city. You know what I'm saying? But nobody was going over to the black side of town, so it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It was just again something to isolate black people from the white population that did not want to see them, despite wanting to employ them as the help, so maids, butlers, baggage handlers, like servers at restaurants, like despite all of that, you know what I'm saying, that's what they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying, dishwashers, people that work in the back of the house, chefs and all that other shit, they wanted to do that and have them in the back of the house, you know what I'm saying, not being seen, you know what I'm saying, but they made it harder for them to commute to work. They couldn't even take public transportation. Some people to work and do their restaurant job as a waitress or to do what other job they were doing. They were walking like 2 3 hours, 2 3 hours to go to work. 2 3 hours to go to work. Like it was crazy, dog. It was crazy. And these are all historical accounts. You ain't got to like what I'm saying. It's the truth.
Saying,
Did Republicans unanimously vote for the Civil Rights
you're
Act?
bulldozing and you're steamrolling because you don't want to hear what I have to say.
Let's quantify that point.
Listen, brother.
Did Republicans
Listen to
unanimously
Uh, Republicans did not unanimously vote for the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1964, while a higher percentage of Republicans voted in favor of the bill than Democrats, a significant minority of the GOP opposed it. In the House, about 80% of Republicans supported the measure, and in the Senate, 82% of Republicans, 27 to 6 voted for the final passage. Jesus Christ, Republicans were a minority in the Senate for real. That's crazy, mega minority.
I have
The statement that Booker T. Washington called black people unfit to participate in the political processes because slavery has set them backward is not an authentic sentiment or quotation from his 1909 autobiography, Up from Slavery. Washington did not claim that black Americans were racially incapable of political participation. Indeed, he supported voting and opposed racial unequal suffrage restrictions. Okay, so where the fuck is this dude getting that from? Where the fuck is he getting that from? You know what? Fuck it. Hi. What's up, man? What's up, dog? What's up? Welcome. What is he talking? Hold on. Let me see. Booker T. Washington. Voting. Booker T. Washington publicly urged black Americans to focus on economic self-reliance, job training, and hard work rather than agate for immediate political rights. However, privately, he secretly funded and organized legal challenges against voter suppression and grandfather clauses and segregation. It seems like he was moving very smartly for the time. And our historian guy is a bit uneducated. Because I remember I wrote a report in school on Booker T. Washington, and I was like, I don't remember Booker T. Washington saying nothing crazy like that. I don't remember that. I wrote a whole report, I think it had to be 5-6 pages or whatever, and I was deep diving. Dude. And I was like, I don't remember him saying none of that. He was one of them people. Again, black people back then, you know what I'm saying, they had to move a certain type of way. They had to think a certain type of way. They had to play the game in a way they're playing the game for their life and their livelihood. You know what I'm saying? Him saying that publicly and then having to do whatever privately, that's just him having to play the game. And a lot of people don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand how to front facing you're this person, but on the back end you're that person. You're somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And you just gotta play the game. That's it. Just play the game. Just play the game. Everything ain't gotta be some political statement or whatever. Every day is not statement day. When you make a statement, you need to make that shit motherfucking count. Don't be showing your hand and you know what I'm saying, playing into shit. No, you want your enemy to be absolutely unprepared. If they trying to take your those people back in the day, those racists were trying to take his life. They wanted his head. They didn't want to see him up. They didn't want to see him ahead. They didn't want to see him doing positive things for black people. They didn't want to do that. No, not at all. So yeah, he was moving correctly. However, I will go back to Officer Cooney McCoon here and say, bro, what you're trying to attribute to him is not true either. And that's the part that's crazy. He's omitting details of Booker T. Washington's life. You know what I'm saying? Just to make talking points that are very much racist. However, he advocated a gradual strategy centered on vocational education, economic independence, and property ownership and character, believing that fuller civil and political rights would follow over time. W.E. Du Bois condemned this accommodationist approach, arguing that postponing political and civil rights demands helped Haste, Hasten, sorry, Haitian, whatever. Anyway, no, it's Hasten. What's right? Anyway, disenfranchisement and legally enforced racial inequality. Um, I get both sentiments. I get W.B. Du Bois sentiment. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I think over time, I think it proved that, you know what I'm saying, you have to do a little bit of both. You have to do a little bit of both. Like, you can, in the front, do something else, and in the back, be doing something else. And I think what W.B. Du Bois is, he wanted him up there fighting in their face. And he's like, no, if he's not in the room, if he's not up there and he's not in those rooms, you're not getting information. Like, everybody has a role to play. Everybody has a role to play. And as long as y'all are still for the same team, which is furthering black people and getting black people further ahead, one person can do this other thing and you can do that thing and everything be fine. As long as at the end of the day you want black people to win. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to play defense and somebody can play offense. That's it. That's literally all it is. Somebody's playing defense, somebody's playing offense, somebody's you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, somebody's patrolling jungle, you know what I'm saying, to put it in what is that called? What's that? More mama? What is that called? MOBA terms. I think it's MOBA. Yeah, those MOBAs. To put it in MOBA terms, you know what I'm saying. Creeping jungle. You know what I'm saying. Somebody has to be a healer. You know what I'm saying. Everybody has a role to play. You know what I'm saying. You can't get mad because your tank is doing tank shit. Okay, and you know what I'm saying. What you want to do is see your fast striker characters. You know what I'm saying. Creep up and you know what I'm saying, sneak somebody. You know what I'm saying? Get somebody up off the board, you know? You know, and everybody has a role, and I think Booker T. Washington was more so on some being in the room, some spy level type shit. You know, versus and not like full spy, but like he's able to have more information because he's at the table. He's not at the table, but he's in the room. If that makes sense. Cause they were never no time. Uh, did Republicans unanimous do I not know how to spell unanimous? Vote for the 13th Amendment. Okay, they did. So okay, he's right about the 13th Amendment. Okay, let's try the 14th Amendment. Did they unanimously vote for the? No, they did not. Um, every single vote against the 14th Amendment came from Democrats who the vast majority. I can I can provide the exact vote tally. Um, please give the exact vote tally. Please give vote tally. Bro, my Twitch is tripping. Oh damn, for real? Uh, okay, so nays. 11 went nay, and then 32, and then 32 didn't even vote. So that's 64. As soon as I turn off my VPN, it works now. Oh damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. I think it has something to do with the new like kind of like age restriction rules or whatever. I think that's something about it. Something about that. Right now, what I'm doing, I'm fact checking what he just said. No, Republicans did not unanimously vote for the 15th Amendment. Great, that's wonderful. And did he say the Civil Rights Act too? And let's go. Let's go Civil Rights Act. No, they did not unanimously vote for the Civil Rights Act. Okay, so he's just categorically wrong. They only unanimously voted for the 13th Amendment. So I'm watching this video. He's making claims, Doctor Officer McCoon, and I'm here fact checking him in real time because why the fuck? No. So look. Here's the kicker, right? Here's the kicker, and here's how you counter him, right? What have they done today? Because if you got to reach that far back, knowing that the Republican Party of old is not the Republican Party of today, it's not. It's not even close. They're not the same. They're not the same. We all know this. So if they're not the same and the parties have flipped viewpoints, then there's a problem. Let's just fact check it for what was taught at the Tuskegee Institute. Why does it act like it don't want to? Like I'm trying to I'm trying to see manual trades, farming methods, teacher education, and later advanced to scientific research and military aviation. Yeah. Cause I'm like, didn't the Tuskegee Airmen come from this place? Okay, boom. So yeah, there it is. Manual trades, farming methods, teacher education, and later advanced scientific research and military aviation. And that was later. Yeah, by the 1920s, the curriculum fully expanded into accredited higher education, adding degrees and graduate programs and professional training. You know, but the thing is, like, I respect his mindset, because he started off small so he could slide in the door because he was already there. Like, the institute was already there, and thus it was able to slide in and provide an opportunity because the space was already created. All you have to do is then, like, once you're in the space and have a stronghold, then you expand on what you're doing. You expand on your offerings. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it took the institute about 40 years. It took him about 40 years to do it, but hey, it was done. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't something that's going to switch overnight. You can't get rid of hatred overnight. Like, he knew what would happen if he started doing that. They was going to lynch him and burn that institute to the ground. That's the truth. That's the real truth. They were going to lynch him and burn that institute to the ground. But anyway. Hey, my whole thing is this. Dog was really cooking. Why did they vote him off? He was really cooking. Why did they vote him out? He was cooking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Officer McCoon didn't want to, respect him, but, so, yeah, he was cooking. Why vote him off? He was cooking. I would have sat back. Honestly, I'm looking at everybody kind of crazy. Like, what you voting him off for? Do you think you're going to do a better job? Like, bro was cooking. You know what I'm saying? He was a little off base, like just a smidget. But I like how he wasn't. I'm not. Yeah, Officer McCoon, bro. I'm not giving him. Hold on. Let me think. I'm not even. I'm not even saying like. I know where I was going. I like how the history guy was not addressing the little like small shit he was trying to get him hung up on. He just kept trying to insert this little like small shit, like that didn't really matter. He always strayed away from the point and tried to get you to come down to this little small corner there. You know what I'm saying? So he could shrink the conversation. Because if he could shrink the conversation, then he has less to argue about. Versus like the bigger picture, he can't do that. He lacks the skill. He lacks the skill. He can't do it. He can't actually stay within the frame of the conversation. He always has to shift it and shrink it. That's his whole strategy. Shift and shrink. That's what we're gonna watch this entire video. Shift and shrink. Hey, you want to know what my point would have been? My counterpoint would have been him when he asked him how he. So I said the act that your Republicans voted for, that now all of a sudden they are against. That you're saying they You're saying I would give him his own premise back, right? Your premise is Republicans voted unanimously for the Civil Rights Act. I said, if they voted unanimously for it, why are they all of a sudden trying to tear it apart? I'm like, why are there cities, like when you look at a map, why are there cities that are being cut in half? That doesn't make any sense. That has never made sense to me, right? When you cut, and then when you cut a city in like these jagged fractions, like I get it. Like some cities are just too fucking big. Like when you have a major city, like let's go with like I don't know, let's say like LA, right? LA's huge, bro, and there's a lot of fucking people. All right, cool. Yeah, there's gonna be some. At some point, it's gonna end. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then another representative's gonna start. Like, I get that. That makes sense. But what you shouldn't have is these weird lines where your district, the representative, like for instance, like instead of it being like 1st through 15th Street that are all represented by the same guy, and 16th through 30th are represented by the other guy, right? They'll go 1 through 5 is represented by candidate 1, representative 1, and then they'll give him like 30 through 29, right? 30 through, let's say, 24 or whatever, right? They'll do that, and then it'll be this weird shape on the streets. And then they'll cut into the rest of the streets and distribute them among another like 5-6 candidates, or I mean 5-6 representatives. And it's like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like on a map, it looks crazy. I think, you know what, to make my point even better, I think I want to pull up the Texas map now. The Texas representative map. Texas voting map. Texas voting map. New congressional map. There we go. And this is from the Gov. This is the Gov. This is their new map. This is their map. Look at these districts. Look at this shit, bro. Hold on. Oh, shit. Sorry. Let me zoom back out. Whoa. Okay, this thing is sensitive. Look at this. Look at this shit. What is this, Houston? What fucking city is this? Bro, look. The map, this shit is so fucking divided. You can't even tell what city. Look at this shit. Dog, this is the exact shit I was talking about. This shit right here. This is fucking Dallas. This is Dallas. Look at this shit, bro. This don't make no damn sense, dog. None. Why is part of Dallas represented? Why does 25th have all this shit and some of this? That should end, bro. There's no way. There's no way this should be constitutional. There's no fucking way. And look what they did to 6. Look what they did to 6, dog. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this, dog? What is this? I mean, part of this is Fort Worth out here. Part of this is Fort Worth. But still, that doesn't matter. What the fuck is going on? And then 33 is most of Dallas, but kind of not. And then you got 24 digging down into that. That doesn't make sense. They should be whole fucking shapes. This is outlandish. 30 is like the only one that looks like relatively okay. 30 looks fine. 6 is weird. 33 is weird. 24 is weird. 5 is weird. Like, why is it swinging over on the other side of the lake? This should all be 33. Or this should... Well, really, 24 shouldn't even be a part of this. 24 should be like right here. Like this. Going up. That's it. That should be 24. if you're gonna do it. Or maybe, just maybe, 24 should be all of this shit, and then you give 12 all this shit back, and it goes down, and it has this whole shit here. Like, oh, this is crazy to divide out. Oh shit, fuck. To divide out a city like this, bro, there's nothing but racism. There's nothing but racism that could be involved. Nothing but. And this is the type of shit I'd counter them with. This type of shit. When you go look at these fucking maps, it looks crazy. You can't tell me that ain't discrimination. You can't tell me. Bro, why does 4 come down here? Bro, these people down here are not living the same life as the people up here. They're not. Cut this shit off and give this back to 3 and 26. Why is 13 coming all the way out here? That makes no fucking sense. None whatsoever. What are we doing? What is the criteria to draw? Like, yeah, bro. This is insane. You wouldn't group people like this. Under no other circumstance would you group people like this. None. And that's my main point. When I see the redistricting, I'm like, bro, this don't make sense. Like, it don't pass the eye test. Bro, look how far 13 goes, bro. Look at that. Look at that. 13 goes from all the way over here to over here, bro. I wish folks, the folks from the other night saw this. Yeah, bro. I wish they did too. I wish they did too. But again, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, folks hating. You know what I'm saying? Folks gonna hate. Like, folks gonna hate. It is what it is. It is what it is. Folks gonna hate. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna find a way to cut this up to where I can put this on the channel. I'm gonna cut this up in a way to where I can put it on the channel so people can get this shit. Because, like, this is the type of stuff where, you know, look, I ain't even get to Houston, bro. Look at Houston. Look at this clusterfuck down here. Like, this don't make no sense. And most of this area, there's nothing out here. Most of this, there's nothing out here. And look at what they did here to El Paso. Because they didn't want El Paso throwing off the Republican votes in here, they restricted El Paso to right there. Like, look at what they did to El Paso, dog. Wait, is that the 19th district? Please don't tell me this is part of 19. This better have its own fucking number. Oh, it's 16. Okay. It's 16. Okay, I'm about to say it better have its own fucking number, bro. Cause I'm like, bro, y'all are fucking crazy. But yeah, like they're playing games, bro. They're playing games. Like, my thing is, if your policies are so good, we can district this shit fair and you gonna win. Period. Dot. But your policies aren't good, so you playing games. Look at what they did to Austin. Look at Austin, bro. This is Austin down here. Look at this shit. Hold on. Let me zoom in, and then I'm gonna slide across to whatchamacallit. This is Austin. I believe this is Austin, Texas. Is it not? This has to be Austin. This has to be another metropolitan area. It has to be. Oh, come on. Come on. Load. Load for me. Load for me. Load for me. Okay. I believe this is Austin. I want to say this is Austin. The fuck is going on here? Okay, hold on. I gotta pull up the map on my phone because it's not telling me the city name. We have an update about your creator fast track application. You were added to the wait list. Yay! Hey, let's go. Oh my god. And Lena the Plug put whole phase on it. That's fucking crazy. Oh, sorry. I gotta focus. Hold on. Fast track. No, so fast track. on Instagram, like their creator program is something they're doing or whatever. So I'm on the fast track waiting list or whatever to be in the program. You know. So there's that. There's that shit. Hold on. I'm trying to confirm that what I'm looking at is Austin, Texas. Okay. There's the there's the freaking what freeways we got? We got the 35. We got the one 35 right here. Yep. Yep. This is it. This is yeah. This is Austin. All this is Austin because 35 intersected by the by the 45. What is this? This says 45. No, something's let me see. Yeah, this is Austin though. That's Austin. That's Austin. That's Austin. Whether or not it's labeled on their map, it don't matter. This is Austin. Austin's cutting the. Yeah, it is. That whole thing is Austin because there goes Lake Travis right there. Yeah, yeah. So they cut Austin up. So part of Austin over here is linked with. Like this doesn't make any sense. Why is there a line through the city? Why is there a line through the city? Sorry, let me do this like this. Look at District 10, bro. Why is there a line through Austin that connects them to these people out here in the middle of fucking nowhere? Like this is crazy. Lena low key bad. Oh yeah, she do look good. I'm not gonna hold you. 11. They cut 11 apart, and then they took part of 17, and they put they made it a part of this. That doesn't make any sense. Like this don't make a lick of sense, dog. It don't make a lick of sense. Like this is bad. This is really bad. And you come over here, down here. This is all Houston. All this is Houston. I ain't got. I've been to Houston numerous times. Just went recently, so I know this is Houston. Look at how this city is cut the fuck apart. All it is. Parts of downtown, because this is right here. Parts of downtown are represented over here in the 7th district, and other parts are in the 18th district. And then if you're in this part of the metropolitan area, you're in part of District 9 that includes all these other people. This suburb, this northern suburb, is by themselves, which I'm going to assume they must be categorically Caucasian. Then there's this part right here. These people are separated. District 2 is separated. Like it makes no sense, bro. And then 18, they got this part. You know what I'm saying? So I'm assuming 18 must be the one district they expect. Oh, this district probably gonna go black. You know, like it's just nuts, dog. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's nuts. That's all I can really say. Is this is nuts? It's nuts. It's nuts. It's nuts. And Officer McCoon here like supports that shit. He supports it. He supports it. You know what? I keep calling him Officer McCoon. I can't post this on YouTube. I can't because I keep saying coon too much. But yeah, that's just what it is. I probably had to bleep it out or whatever. You know, I'm gonna have to enlist some help. Cause I don't. I'm like, I still have to produce content. So like, going through and like beeping out all the coons is gonna be pretty intense. But anyway, yeah. Hold on. Let me go back just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Look. The moderator knows he's cooking. Like, look at how she looking at him. She like, yep. She like, yep, get him. She like, yep, get him. And he kind of like got this smirk on his face because he like, shit, I'm getting fucked. I'm cooked. I am cooked. This brother's educated with facts. I am cooked. But anyway, there's that. Whoa. Jesus Christ, hold on. Taxing the rich is how it's supposed to work. All right. So before we got to this place of income, massive inequality, okay, your CEO only made 20 times his worker because why? There was an income ratio that made sense. So then the economy was able to grow because you had the people the people that weren't the owners and were the customers, right? People that weren't owners but they're customers and they're working, they were moving throughout the economy and they were able to spend money. And it's better for the economy that way. The rich people at the top are starting to realize they're starting to slowly say it. There's not enough customers. There's not enough money to be squeezed out anymore. They took it all. They have it all. They have to employ people. They have to pay more money. Like, yeah, they're fucking shareholders. Yeah, that has to be one thing, like the shareholder thing. But the other thing is, like, once you get outside of the shareholders, like the economy is really fucking bad. And the thing is, you can't have more people come up and become a shareholder because they don't have money to invest. Like, it's this cyclical thing. Like, when you raise money to get more investment, you're losing more control, and the reason you're losing more control is because all these only a certain type of person is able to invest. Therefore, they're buying up more and more of your company, and they're getting more and more say so, and thus you're getting less and less flexibility on your actions, like in things you can do as a business. You're getting less and less traffic. I mean, less and less of that, and then you combine that with the customers and all that. The only way you're able to get profit now or project out a positive thing on your spreadsheet is to cut jobs, is to cut wages, or to do things that drop your overhead. But you're not profiting more. Most of these companies that are having these positive earning calls, they're not cutting, they're not making like record, they're not really making record profits really. The when you look at what their earnings are, like what they're actually bringing in, you realize most of them are getting most of their jump from cutting the overhead by cutting jobs. They keep doing it over and over, and they cut jobs. They rehire people that haven't been there as long, so then they're able to hire new employees at a lower wage. And then as that's going up, and while that's going on, they rinse and repeat the cycle over and over and over again. It's absurd. We're not able to sustain this. We need more people working, making a great wage, so then we can actually have things. Because we're first time in a long time. There's more people trying to sell a home than there are people trying to buy a home, and that's because people ain't got no money, dog. They ain't got nobody's money. Anyway, they did a study. Right? They did a study. And that's funny, dude. Does kind of look like wardrobe. I keep coming back to reading that. They did a study, and it came out. And somebody sent it to me. It actually has been shown that people in California have a better life, and have more money take home, have more take home money than people in Texas, by and large. Even though, because Texas wages are lower, and then what you have by them having lower wages, even though gas is like, I think it's a dollar in like 50 cent lower, sometimes up to $2. It's $1.50 to $2 lower than what it is in California, right? So you have that savings there, and you have a savings on goods and things of that nature, right? But the problem is your wages are lower. Your wages are so much lower that on average, most people are not technically living better. It just doesn't feel as bad. Like, I know it to be a factual, because whenever I go to other states, I be feeling like I'm good. I mean, like, oh shit, that ain't nothing. Shit, that ain't nothing. Shoot, I got that right now. Like, that's how I be feeling. Um, yeah, man, bro. This is so hard to get through, man, because there's so much bullshit in it. Like, I feel like I would be here reacting to this shit for like 4 days, bro. I'll be reacting to this shit for the next 4 days. Cause here I am, I'm at 2 hours. Well, okay, minus the Drake stream stuff. So like, I take an hour off of this, bro. I've been reacting to the last 10 minutes of this shit for an hour, bro. For an hour. But I did provide like really good examples and proof, you know. So this is actually a really solid vid. I'm actually kind of proud of myself. Yeah, illegal undocumented immigrants are generally ineligible for major federal program benefits such as SNAP, TANF, regular Medicaid, and most federal housing assistance and Social Security benefits. Although eligible members of mixed status families may receive assistance, federal law nevertheless permits limited services involving emergency Medicaid, short term disaster relief, immunizations, and communicable disease treatment. Yeah, that it's big facts. Like undocumented immigrants, they don't want to be federal. Like, here's the thing: you're an undocumented immigrant. Why would you apply for a fucking program that's going to get you federally marked so then they can come fucking find you because they have to send the money somewhere? You're not gonna do it. It doesn't even make sense as an undocumented immigrant to even attempt to sign up for it. That's why most of them be standing in front of Home Depot and shit, looking for work. Let's like just fucking dumb. And yeah, Home Depot, bro.
Access.
And certain life safety services such as WIC, school meals, separate federal law guarantees access to emergency hospital screening and stabilization, and to public K through 12 education regardless of immigration status. The federal government has also funded local governments and nonprofits providing short-term humanitarian services to some migrants, though the availability of that grant funding has changed over time. Booyah, booyah, booyah. And what I'll add to this is um what she was about to say, and what she's about to say is true, or maybe she's not gonna say it because he kind of cut her off. I don't know, but immigrants, all right, immigrants and illegal immigrants pay more in taxes, all right, pay more in taxes than they get out. Period. Dot. They pay more in taxes than they get out. They put more into the system than they get out. That's just a fact. That is a fact of life. It's a numbers thing. Like, and that's the thing that bothers me the most is people be arguing with their own motherfucking numbers. I'm like, these are the numbers, bro. You can go through any administration you want, Democrat or Republican. The numbers were consistent. They do not get the amount out. Like, it's not even close. Like, they'll pay like into the federal system like it's some like double digit, almost triple digit number of billions in taxes that they'll pay. Like, I don't think, you know what, I'm not gonna say triple digit. I think I fully believe it's double digit. I think it's around like 45, 47, something like that. 45, 47, something like that. $1 billion in taxes. That's what they pay into the system. What are most of them getting? Zero. Most of them are getting goose egg, dog. Zero, zilch, nada, nada, nada. Like I don't know. Like, it's just hella public information. Like, why even tell that lie when it's hella public information? Like, it's just right there. Yeah, hey. That's it. Cause there's like, what is it? Police officers do what is this other claim? Hold on, let me look in the comments because it let me see what the other ones are. Let me see what the other ones are. Cause see, most of the shit I didn't want to. Police officers do more good in the black community than harm. That's gonna be boring because he's an officer, so we know what side he on. Black people hurt black people more than any other group. That's any group of people. Any group of people of one race. Like, most of the people that are so white people live next to white people. That's why 91% of crime that happens to white people is other white people. When you talk about black people, it's the same number. It's the same thing. Why? It's like I think for black people it's around like 87%. Why? Why is it that way? Because most of black people live around black people. Asian people, it's the same thing. Like, hey, most people are like you can just straight up ask them. In most communities, and this is why the crime statistic is that way. In most communities, when's the last time you seen an Asian person? When's the last time you seen a Native American? When's the last time you really seen a Hispanic person outside of like work where you work at and shit? Like it you start thinking about those type of things, and then you go, damn, we really are like self segregated by race. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even like beef shit or whatever. Like the neighbor across the street could be white or whatever, but how often are you holding a conversation with them? You know, like you start asking yourself them questions. You don't hold enough of a conversation with your neighbor to even get into it with them. That's just it. Um, Systemic racism is an excuse to avoid personal responsibility. That one is so fucking stupid. Because here's the thing, right? If I'm trying to build my house, right? And this is the best example. This is the best example of this shit I can give, right? And this is the best example of this shit I can give. If I'm trying to, and I'm gonna give this example, I'm gonna talk about that, and then I'm gonna get up off of here. If the self segregation is, bro, that's what I'm saying. Like black people want to be around other black people, white people want to be around other white people, Hispanics same thing. Why? Because it's familiar. It's not. It's human nature. It's human nature. It's not racist at all. It's not racist at all. It's literally human nature. You want to be around what you're familiar with. You want to be around what you're comfortable with. That's not that's not illegal. That's not racist itself in and of itself. When it becomes racist, right? And then I'll go back to the other point. When it becomes racist is when somebody has the right to move across the street from you and you're mad because they moved across the street. You could just not interact with them. All you have to do is just not say a word, dog. You don't have to say nothing. Boom. Problem solved. Just don't say nothing. Um that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. If you start TPing in their house, poking holes in their top, you start doing little shit to fuck with them. Like, yeah, you're racist. That's it. That's it. You're racist. If they want to move across the street, that's fine. If the moment they move across the street from you, you go, damn, I need to move. Check yourself. You're racist. All you have to do is just not interact. That's it. And then your black neighbors, they have a little thing, a little shindig at their house, right? You know what I'm saying? Nothing too crazy. Nobody's getting shot. Nothing crazy. Like people are just talking and having a good time. They're laughing, whatever. Whoop de whoop de whoop. It's at their house on their property. You're mad, so you call the police and do a noise complaint because they're happy over there. But then meanwhile for Christmas, all your people are over there and y'all loud and shit. And then what they supposed to do? Call the police on you for a noise complaint? And now y'all going tit for tat being petty? That's crazy. That's crazy. And that is racist. Now systemic racism, right? Just to talk about that and like make my point about that. The thing with systemic racism is, right? If you're trying to, let's say you're trying to build a home, right? Cool. You're building your house. Everything's going fine or whatever. You know, you're starting to, you know what I'm saying? You got the frame up. Everything's good. You're starting to run the plumbing or whatever. And all of a sudden, right? You need some more piping, right? And then the pipe store won't sell you any more piping because they found out where you're living at, right? They're like, oh yeah, we don't want to sell you. The local store won't want to sell you any. Matter of fact, they coordinated it, right? To where like a group of stores, they're not trying to have you build there. Systemic racism shows up as unwarranted and unregulated obstacles to what you are trying to do for yourself. Anytime you're trying to do something for yourself and you're trying to better yourself, and there is an obstacle that shows up that does not exist for any other group of people, that is systemic racism. And that is a problem. That's it. And the reason it's called systemic is because there's people colluding together, whether supported by the government's actions, or supported by the government's inaction, to stop you from being able to do what you're trying to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to build a house in a certain neighborhood, and normally the permitting takes about like 3 to 4 weeks, right? For most applicants to try and build in this area. For some reason, because you're black, it's taking around like 3 to 4 months, and you hold everything else equal across your applications. Y'all both make the same amount of money. Y'all both have the same size family. Y'all both, you know what I'm saying, come from the same like corporate background or whatever. But because you're black, they're dragging their feet a little bit. But their average is 6 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks to pass it, and then your application is taking longer. And then you talk to other black people, and you find out their applications are taking 2 to 4 months. Why is there a black line and a other line? That doesn't make sense. That's systemic racism. Anyway, that's my time. Thank y'all so much for watching. Thank y'all so much for tapping in with the stream. It is 11 p.m. I'm finna take my black ass to bed. I had fun. Um, Again, the Drake Steak Night thing, I'm not gonna put it up on YouTube without doing some research on if other people have posted it already. Because the thing is, if the original creator hasn't posted it and made their money off of it, I'm not going to then post my reaction to it before they're able to post their own content. I think that's foul. And that's just me moving ethically. And I said that earlier, and I intend to stick by that. Yeah, man. Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? There was some new people that came through here too, so that was fun. Anyway, I'm about out of here.